I first met Rosa about 12 years ago, and actually the first time I met her, I didn't really speak to her. I didn't even say anything. We went to a concert. Well, I went with a concert to my sister, a Foo Fighters concert, and I didn't speak to her, but I noticed her, and right from the start, you definitely caught my eye.
I was 19 when we met, and I met his sister first, and she was like, hey, you know, are you going to this concert? I was like, yes, I'm going to this concert. I was young, and I love going to shows, music, so I was like, yeah, let's go. And so she was like, all right, well, you know, is it okay if I bring a couple of my brothers? And I said, sure. You know, the more the merrier. So we decided to meet at the Union Parking Deck, and that's where we were introduced. And I think I was so like pumped about the concert that I didn't even really like, not that I didn't notice Alex, but I was just so pumped. I was like, okay, let's get going. And the show was fun. And then later I started going to the bakery more and more after we started hanging out I started hanging out with his sister more. And that's where I would see him on the weekends when I'd go to buy my tacos. And then a couple of years later, it took him a couple of years to finally ask me to hang out. And I was like, sure, I can always use a friend. Let's hang out.
Well, I liked her, Rosa. She was always friendly and upbeat and outgoing. She was always up for anything. So that was always a plus. She has a really, her personality just really stands out. And she has a great smile, brightens up a room.
Well, I think what I noticed about him was just like his patience. And he's very patient when you're talking, and I have lots of stories to share, so I always need someone just to listen. Our love for travel, we met at a concert, of course, and then we just started going to more and more concerts. And those were just kind of to Kansas City, Dallas, and then all of a sudden I thought, you know what, we've got to get out there and explore. Let's go outside the country, see new places. So we started traveling, and from there on, I think he really started liking that, and that's where I think our bond started.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I like Rosa. She's really outgoing. Like, you know, she's up for, you know, pretty much anything. And she's taught me a lot of things, got me a lot of outside of my comfort zone that sometimes I'm not too okay with it, but like, you know, snorkeling and, you know, swimming and stuff, things that I never really bothered to learn, or, you know, but I mean, it's good that she encouraged me to try new things. And that's one thing that I love about her. She's like, really pushes me to try new things, new fun things. And I think we both enjoy that a lot. She kind of been hinting about it, and we had she was kind of saying about it, talking about engagement rings and stuff. So she was throwing out clues, I guess. And I kind of picked up on it and stuff. And I was like, well, just trying to pick out the right moment. And it just so happened that there was going to be a fight in Las Vegas this in August, and I was like, well, I'll throw that as an excuse. So I planned it out, and I took her out to Las Vegas and proposed to her there. And I was hoping in June. Was it June?
It was June.
That's right, late June. And I was hoping we'd get married, but she wasn't happy. She wanted a big wedding, or a wedding with her family and stuff.
Yeah. When we landed in Vegas, I should have suspected something funky was going to happen, because he's usually very chill when we travel, and we've traveled quite a bit. At the airport, he was like, at the security at XNA, he was like lagging. Well, usually he's gone before I get through security. I'm like, what's going on? Where's Alex? And later I found out he was just making sure that I didn't see the ring. It was the hottest week of my life in Vegas. It was like 114, 120. And so I didn't want to wear makeup. I didn't want to get sweaty walking into dinner. And he's like, don't you want to like wear some jewelry or something, spruce it up? And I was like, no, actually, it's pretty hot out there. I just want to be casual. And I still didn't pick up on it. And then we get to dinner, and I'm like, why are there flowers on our table? Like, I noticed they're not on anyone else's table. He's acting very anxious. I'm like, what's going on with Alex? He's never anxious. He's like too casual most of the time. What is going on? This is gonna be a long dinner. And then all of a sudden, I think dinner at the Paris, it was phenomenal. I think it's over, we're getting ready to relax, head back to our room. And he's like, let's go upstairs to the Eiffel Tower. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I just know it's gonna be a scorcher out there. But I'll go, okay, let's go. We waited for like 30 minutes in line, I think, right? It was a long wait. And the whole time it's just getting hotter and hotter, and my face is dripping, and he's still acting very anxious. We finally make it upstairs to the Eiffel Tower, and we walk around and we see Vegas. He's making awkward conversation. I'm like, this is very strange. I mean, I've known Alex for years. I'm like, why is he acting like we're on our first date? And then finally I was like, all right, let's go. You know, we've seen Vegas. It's a beautiful view. And he's like, wait a minute. I'm like, what? Okay. And then I thought he's just really trying to take Vegas in. Like, I guess I can't get enough of this view. So I'm like, okay. And finally I'm like, I'm gonna just go ahead and ask him, what's going on? Is something the matter? Why are you acting funny? So right as I go to turn around, he was kind of behind me to see what's the matter. I'm like, are you okay? Are you sick? Is something stressing you out? Then he like starts going down on one knee, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready for this. And then all of a sudden, it was like a different kind of sweat. It was like, you know, that anxious sweat that you get. And I was like 1,000 things went through my mind. Like, I didn't even brush my hair right. I'm sweaty. Is someone taking a picture? Like, I mean, what's going on? And I just got so nervous. I kind of fogged over. And finally, I just said yes. And then that was it.
I was very nervous. I gotta admit. I wanted to find the perfect moment, and I just couldn't find the perfect moment, I guess. But then I just like, well, it's now or never kind of thing. Cause I guess I had waited a little too long. So yeah, I was just nervous, and I just didn't know exactly how I was gonna say it and stuff, or when I was gonna say it. So yeah, that was the main thing. Trying to find that one perfect moment to do it.